Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Massey University's ceremony to honour this year's graduands. Please ensure all mobile phones are switched off. In the event of an emergency, please note your nearest exit and follow the directions of the Bruce Mason Centre staff. Please stand to welcome the graduating students and remain standing until the official party has taken their places on stage.
I declare this congregation to be in session. Please remain standing and join with us in singing the University Waiata, the words of which are printed on the screen. Please be seated. Tēnā koutou katoa e hui nei. I extend a very warm welcome to you all, this the fifth of 6 autumn graduation ceremonies for 2019. Vice-Chancellor, Massey University councillors, members of the university community, members of the Auckland Campus Graduation Committee, distinguished guests, graduands and families. My name is Helen Anderson and I'm Pro-Chancellor of Massey University Council, which is effectively Deputy Chair of the governance body. I have great pleasure in presiding over graduation ceremonies here in Auckland this week and next month in Palmerston North. Before I begin, I would like to say a few words about the tragic events in Christchurch last month that really shocked our nation and the entire world. Massey has many connections with Canterbury, including more than 600 students and some staff based there, along with more than 4,000 alumni. Additionally, many hundreds of internal students at all 3 campuses call Christchurch or Canterbury home. The university is woven into the fabric of New Zealand's economy and culture, and it's also a conduit to the wider world. So while the university is a launch pad to the wider world, we must also process and respond to, as well as prepare for, unwelcome developments from that wider world. As we have done in the past, Massey will continue to ask the tough questions and help find solutions to the challenges that face us all, whether they be social, environmental, or technological. This week, Massey University is very proud to be bestowing a total of 208 different qualifications on 1,437 students. At this ceremony, degrees will be conferred and diplomas awarded in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, and in total of 126 in person and plus a further 12 in absentia. So you all know that graduations are incredibly festive occasions and one of the biggest celebrations of your academic success. Today, however, is not just about you, the graduands. Today is also about your friends and family who encouraged and supported you in good times and a few bad times, and they are here to acknowledge your success. The academic staff and council members seated behind me and many other professional staff who put an enormous amount of effort and time into this occasion, they also take equal satisfaction at this very special day for you. Just as a note for those friends and family who are unable to join us in person today, all of our ceremonies are streamed live on the internet and there's a link on the Massey University homepage, so please feel free to share that link with loved ones. So by the end of today, you will become part of a Massey alumni family that now numbers in excess of 143,000 people around the world. That figure alone reminds us of the lifetime impact a university qualification has for students, their families, and also the community at large. So today we're here to celebrate the graduates from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, and congratulations to all of you crossing the stage. Your college continues to enjoy considerable success. For instance, the College of Humanities and Social Sciences has had considerable funding success, and 6 academics were recently awarded Marsden Fund grants for a very diverse range of topics, including te reo Māori revitalisation, a philosophical approach to population research, and the gambling-related mechanisms of video gameplay. Fascinating stuff. The college also supported the development of future leaders at a number of important events, including 2 national hui and regional workshops, which culminated in Festival for the Future. That which was in Wellington in July, and that drew together nearly 2,000 young people aged 17 to 25 years old. Another highlight for the School of Humanities was its recent launch of the new Portuguese language program, which is intended to help foster opportunities in business, culture, education, trade, tourism, and diplomacy with Brazil. It's the country's only tertiary level Portuguese language program. And finally, Tōra Mai, a language and cultural learning initiative designed to connect global audiences with te reo Māori and tikanga Māori, was launched in Sydney, Melbourne, and London this year. Tōra Mai is an online course available free to those wishing to expand their understanding of Māori knowledge and culture, and I'd encourage you to give it a go. So here at Massey, we're not only helping students shape their future, but we're also helping to shape the future of New Zealand and the world. Now, more than ever, innovation has to be the single most important driving force in education as universities embrace change and engage with today's formidable challenges. Our campus here in Auckland is at the forefront as we build a world-leading hub for the 21st century education. So construction this year to extend the Sir Neil Walters building at Albany began in June. And this is a very important milestone in the campus expansion plans. This additional space will provide 5 additional teaching spaces and workspace to accommodate around 110 students and postgrads. The extension, which is expected to be completed later this year, is along with a construction of a much bigger innovation complex, which is part of a $120 million development plan to improve our university environment and meet the growth in student numbers. These projects together represent the biggest development since the campus was established 26 years ago in 1993. Manawatu will always be the heritage campus for Massey. However, the large population increase that the north of the north has recently experienced means that the Auckland campus student growth now surpasses the Manawatu numbers, and it is expected to grow further. So this major construction program that we've embarked upon is aimed at future-proofing the university for generations of New Zealanders. So, ladies and gentlemen, a few final words to our graduates before they cross the stage. Congratulations once more. Continue to work very hard and take all the opportunity that life gives you. I urge you to stay connected with your alma mater and your university family through our Alumni Association. As you go forth as a Massey alumni, my challenge to you is to make your own contribution, grow your own reputation, and in doing so, add further to the proud heritage that you are now part of. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. By the authority of the Council of Massey University, I, Dr. Helen Anderson, Pro-Chancellor, will now award the certificates and diplomas and confer the degrees on those to be presented and on those in absentia. A senior lecturer in the School of People, Environment and Planning and a lecturer in the Institute of Education will now present the graduates and recipients of the certificates and diplomas in the College of Humanities and the Social Sciences.
Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree Bachelor of Education the graduands I am about to name. Catherine Mary Cyprian. Jodine Michelle DeAndrade. Catherine Maria Huxford. Tracy Gay Law. Sandrine Murphy. Vicky Ann Ritchie. Vicky Ann Rouse. Stephanie Louise Sheldon. Joanna Lynn Vortier. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Bachelor of Speech and Language Therapy the graduands I am about to name. Kitty Kit Yin Ho. Alice May Klein. Annalisa Desiree Afenga Lole. Jackie Diane Morgan. Claire Louise Preston. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Bachelor in Speech and Language Therapy with honours the graduands I'm about to name. Antonia Grace Alger, First Class Honours. Claire Emily Esterman. Hannah Marie Cooksley Tufare, First Class Honours. Amy Lee Wildman, First Class Honours. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Graduate Diploma of Teaching, Early Childhood Education, the candidates I am about to name. Cindy Ann Bosman. Lorelei Santa Inez de la Cruz. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Graduate Diploma of Teaching Primary the candidates I am about to name. Nicola Arles. Melanie Brandes. Abigail Sophie Broom. Julie Ann Davies, Nee Gillespie. Ashika Devi. Tracy Louise Eels. Rose Madeline Feeney. Jonathan Hugh Felsey. Sarah Ann File. Clarice Ann Harmon. Najmeh Hidarian. Amber Renee Hobbs. Cherie Ann Hosoi. Sharonjeet Kaur. Hae Ryong Lee. Hai Ying Lee. Adam Leslie Martin. Sean Richard McMicken, Massey Scholar. Gabriel Hannah Moros. Brodie Ashlyn Murrell. Yuk Keon Ing. Sean Simon Patterson. Ashneil Jainesh Prasad. Hendrika Adriana Rousseau Nee Grobler. Shanwin Joy Southgate. Bronwyn Linley Vanderhorn. Zoe Henrietta Mary Veal. Anne Louise Wilkins. Catherine Margaret Wilkinson. Amy Alana Dixon Williams. Xiao Xing. Ran Ye. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the Graduate Diploma of Teaching Secondary the candidates I am about to name. Robert Scott Bradford. Sarah Kathleen Hunt. Thank you, Pro-Chancellor.
We will now proceed with the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Education honoris causa. Professor John O'Neill will read the citation for the award of the degree of Doctor of Education honoris causa.
Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen. Dame Wendy Pye, DNZM, MBE, is an influential educator and businesswoman whose advocacy for and contributions to the cause of children's print literacy education across many decades are recognised in New Zealand and throughout the world. Her company, Sunshine Books, is regarded as one of the world's most successful educational export companies. In this sense, she is a passionate children's literacy educator on a truly global scale. Born in rural Western Australia, Dame Wendy completed high school and secretarial school and worked for several years in Perth and Sydney. She moved to New Zealand in her early 20s and joined the publisher New Zealand News Group, where she progressed through the company, managing its magazine and trade publications and selling its children's books in the United States. When the company was sold and restructured in 1985, she was made redundant at the age of 42. Dame Wendy decided at this point to become an educational publisher in her own right and established Sunshine Books, specialising in early reading and mathematics books and targeting the United States. Her United States business was bought out in the mid-1990s, and she subsequently concentrated on Australasia and Asia. By 2010, her company had 8 offices worldwide, and today, Sunshine Books maintains a list of over 2,000 titles, an online reading program, and a digital arm that focuses increasingly on literacy education for children living in isolated rural areas with no libraries, schools, or internet access. Her books have sold more than 300 million copies and are used by children in more than 20 countries. Dame Wendy's philosophical and practical approaches to print literacy education are pragmatic, evidence-informed, and subject to rigorous evaluation of their usefulness and their effects. She has aligned her publications with the different curriculum changes that have occurred over the decades so that her programs have been consistent with the latest literacy education research. Dame Wendy has also been an enthusiastic supporter of Massey University literacy education research. Now Emeritus Professor Tom Nicholson used Dame Wendy's books in his successful summer books program in 2011, for which 11,000 of her titles were given to nearly 500 children from schools in lower and higher socioeconomic communities. She publishes a program that combines authentic children's books with opportunities to practice phonics skills. While there have been major changes in reading theory over time, Dame Wendy has adjusted her programs to make sure they are consistent with these changes. Dame Wendy sets a fine example to other educators of how materials can be used in novel ways to enthuse children about reading and help them put forth stronger efforts to master their literacy skills. She uses a balanced approach that capitalises on both phonological and whole language philosophies and ensures a very wide support base in schools in many countries. Her reading program has nonetheless always had a strong New Zealand character to it. She's been a leader in finding local children's authors to write the books she publishes, authors like Joy Cowley. She has also employed New Zealand illustrators. Dame Wendy is creative in melding print and digital approaches to literacy education in order to attract and hold the interest of children. Her efforts in this field have established her as a worldwide leader in the development and distribution of digital resources that exploit the potential of technology in education. Not surprisingly, she has had a major share of sales in the US, China, UK, and numerous other huge markets. She has forged useful relationships with governments, international agencies, NGOs, and education publishers in many regions of the world, including the Pacific Islands, Africa, and many countries in Asia. The Digital Sunshine Classics project involves putting hundreds of her classic titles onto a website so that they can be downloaded by smartphone or by computer by children at home and at school. The project enables children to practice reading at home, engage in skills-building exercises, and have their oral reading recorded so that their teachers can check their progress. Her approach thus facilitates a productive partnership between the child, parent, and teacher. Dame Wendy's literacy education work also has a strong social justice focus, breaking the cycle of poverty through literacy education for the 50% of the world's population that cannot access the internet, with programs to support the learning of both the child and the parent. Her low-cost digital devices, preloaded with 300 book titles and 1,000 activities, were first trialled in villages in Malaysia and are now being rolled out in Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines and China. Dame Wendy is also very generous with her donation of resources where it counts. For example, to assist the government of Sri Lanka to establish a footing for the redevelopment of English, she donated 4,000 books to start up a pilot project in 20 schools in urban and rural areas, a project that led to extraordinary gains in the children's reading and writing skills. Dame Wendy is a very worthy recipient of this award. Her career-long passion, innovation, and practical contributions to the advancement of young children's literacy education in New Zealand and overseas are of the highest order. Pro-Chancellor, it's my very great pleasure to present to you for the award of Doctor of Education, Honoris Causa, Dame Wendy Pai, DNZM, MBE. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present Dame Wendy Edith Pai for graduation in the degree of Doctor of Education, Honoris Causa of this university.
It is now my great pleasure to invite Dame Wendy Pai to address the graduands.
Honourable guests, graduates and extended family, tēnā koutou, te kura. It's such a pleasure to be here today and to share with you the dreams and all those wonderful people who have just graduated in the teaching profession. And I hope you're going to use my sunshine books. There's always a little thing. Literacy is the key to opportunity. It's a great honour to share some thoughts with you about the opportunities and dreams that you all have, and I also have still a dream as well, that every child will learn to read in the world. I'm a publisher of literacy resources to help children learn to read in schools, and these resources also stretch to non-English speaking countries, but also our own country as well. Reading and learning are the key in giving people the opportunities to make a difference for their communities. Through my work, I'm proud that my publishing company makes a difference to the lives of hundreds of thousands of children now across the world. And that is a celebration not only to my own company, but it's a celebration to the talent of New Zealand writers, New Zealand illustrators, and our place in the world where New Zealand can play a major part in education. Children also, when they read lovely stories by Margaret Mahi, Joy Cowley, some of our great new writers as well, and hopefully many of the graduates here today become writers as well for my publishing house. They learn to love literature, not only in digital, which is the new format, but in print resources. I've seen in my really 3 generations when people come up to me and say, my grandchildren are learning to read on Sunshine Books. I learned to read and my daughter also learned to read. I think really probably when they say my great-great-grandchild, maybe I should hang up the hat then, probably. But I have no intention of really retiring yet. I've also seen really through those 3 generations how reading, particularly in Africa and many countries, how education, which you all share today, and the love of education has moved people out of poverty, and we must continue to work for that. People have often assumed that the printed word would die once e-books became so accessible. But since the development of the tablet and the mobile phone, printed books have not died at all. In fact, many people feel that the physical book is still an important factor to explore the written word. Others prefer the compact format of an e-book, and that's why we've developed tablets. We've developed something which will reach into the villages. Particularly my passion is now helping the girls who don't go to school in the small villages in many areas of the world. And these girls deserve an education. And in many families, only 2 people, they can afford to send 2 people to school. So what we must do is we must reach into the home in these villages. And I'm working on that project with UNICEF as well. And so we live in an exciting time. How wonderful it would be, and how wonderful to see all those wonderful teaching graduates coming through. I'd like to clap them again. I know this is unfamiliar, but now we'll clap them right. All the people who are graduating today. As I work across the world in China, I'm working on a major project with the Chinese government. We're developing resources to listen and to basically teach Chinese children to enjoy and to learn critical thinking. Critical thinking is a major resource that we have to, and the inquiry, and that's setting up inquiry in literature. I'm also working on a project in Germany because I was very disturbed when 1 million refugees flooded into Germany. And I went there, I reached out 3 years ago and said to teachers there, what are you doing? What actually are you doing for the children of these refugees? And they said, we really don't have a plan. So I sat down with a major publisher. There are 2 major publishing families in Germany. And I sat down with them and said, why don't we do something? We'll make something digital. Because when an 11-year-old who's been in a camp for 5 years enters a school and is put in a class, and they have to learn German very quickly, it's really difficult. And digital was the key, I felt. So we actually have been working with a German company, and this is in German, and many of our New Zealand books in a few months' time will beam out actually to those German schools to help many of those refugee children. And New Zealand will play their part in developing a whole strategy for Europe. Also, we work in Denmark, and in Denmark we work in Danish, and I was in Denmark in October last year looking at how they were adopting some New Zealand ideas. And of course it was all in Danish, but it's still very good to learn in another language actually. Our books have been written by New Zealand authors and translated, and in South Africa, and Professor Warwick Elliott is in the audience today, and I gave him a hug before the session here because we worked on many projects in South Africa and looking at the townships, and I have been 30 years of working in South Africa. And now we're actually translating books in India and translating into Hindi in some of the outlying villages where there have been no schools, and we are working with a charity developing schools, and the children, the look on the children's faces when they read a fabulous story written by Joy Cowley in Hindi is very exciting. And also in the South Pacific, we publish in Samoan, we publish in Te Maori, and we have lots of languages, and we also look at the literacy there. A love of reading is the key to success. The written word is powerful. Now more than ever, our world is linked through a social media. I call it the flat world. Maybe it isn't the flat world, but it's technically, imagine only a week ago we found there was a black hole too, which is incredible. So that we can reach out in a positive way to encourage. I urge all of the graduates today and all of the people to actually be passionate about learning to read. Because with that skill, you can do anything in life. It's been a long journey, but a wonderful experience. And people often wonder why I don't retire, but every morning when you wake up, I really think of what the challenge is ahead, and that's what I want to share with you today. I wish you all in your well-chosen careers and lots of success. Tia kara. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dame Wendy. She really is an inspiration, isn't she? So I think another big round of applause is warranted. We'll just do a quick doffing, shall we?
Oh, sorry.
Right. It's always good to be able to give a bit of advice to such a learned person. Thank you very much. We will now continue with the conferment of degrees and the award of university certificates and diplomas.
Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the postgraduate certificate in education the candidate I'm about to name, Dirk Jihadis Kruger. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the postgraduate certificate in tertiary teaching and learning the candidate I'm about to name, Paul Christopher Padfield. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the postgraduate diploma in education the candidates I'm about to name, Judith Margot Betham, Rachel Noel Bush, Claire Jeanne Chateau, Rachel Elizabeth Franklin with distinction, Anne Marie Miller with distinction, Mukesh Prasad, Alexander Marie Price with distinction, Tracy Anita Sietu, Catherine Julia Stenhouse with distinction, Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the postgraduate diploma in specialist teaching the candidates I'm about to name, Claire Margaret Barrett Wood with distinction, Christine Bennett, Anola Caldry, Karen Allison Dello, Corinne Nicola Devitt with distinction, Beverly D'Souza, Helen Louise Rachel Jalanders with distinction, Norelli Ethel Hannam Nemour with distinction, Grace Lorna Harrison with distinction, Abigail Mary Higgs, Caroline Jean Hope, Karen Ann Humphreys with distinction, Rachel Jessica Irvine with distinction, Susan Ann Knowles. Rangi Marie Emily Maxted Leaf. Rachel Samara Lee. Jill Hazel Mackenzie with distinction. Catherine Jeanette Matamua. Jocelyn Mary Mather. Raywin Lynette McFarlane with distinction. Latisha Mackenzie with distinction. Margaret Esther Moffat with distinction. Veronica Bo Chin Ing. Melissa Jane O'Callaghan. Ravina Kumari Chandra Raj. Catherine Lee Reid with distinction. Amy Louise Russell with distinction. Shirley Ann Scott. Paula Virginia Samiki Kingi. Eunice Martia Tata Smythe. Linda Joy Stowers Nee Mackenzie. Lisa Louise Tatum. Susan Marie Tomlinson. Carly Wilson de Oliveira. With distinction. Thank you, Pro-Chancellor.
It is now my great pleasure to invite Carly Wilson de Oliveira to make the valedictory address on behalf of the students. Carly has had a long relationship with Massey University. First, she studied the Diploma of Teaching in the Manawatu, graduating in 1998. For the subsequent 20 years, she has taught at intermediate and primary schools from Gisborne to Auckland. 4.5 years ago, she decided to complete her Bachelor of Education and re-enrolled at Massey while still teaching full-time at one of Auckland's largest primary schools. She had a taste for new skills and opportunities in the field of special education, for which she's won a postgraduate study award. She's a passionate educator, a spokesperson for her union, and she's just completed this postgraduate diploma in specialist teaching. Please join with me in welcoming Carly to the stage.
Tēnā koutou katoa, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of the Council, university staff, fellow graduates, and our whānau. We've done it! We've made it. You're here and graduating. If you're anything like me, it's a bit surreal having finished studying and gaining my life back after 2 years of late nights, obviously lots of us, many more, squeezing in work around deadlines and making best friends with my laptop. It is my absolute pleasure to be speaking here today. I hope that I can offer some wisdom and insights into how my learning journey through Massey has shaped my life. To offer a bit of a backstory, I've been affiliated with Massey for more than 20 years. My journey began when I was just 17 years old in Palmerston North. I packed my little silver Honda with all my worldly possessions, and I left home for the first time. I lived in the halls of residence, as I'm sure many of you have had the experience of doing. I existed on Vogels and care packages from my mum. Yet my first 3 years of study at Teachers College I was full of enthusiasm, as I can imagine many of you are here sitting today. For me, Teachers College was a blur of spending time in classrooms, socialising, and making many memories. I began teaching my first class at the age of 20, only just legal to drink back then, mind you, and many of my students were far taller than me. I had one goal in mind, and that was to make a difference. This is what I did in the East Cape for more than 15 years. I taught with my heart on my sleeve. I made many mistakes, as you do when you're starting out, but I learnt and moved on. These experiences led me to the teacher that I am today. Remember, mistakes are there to teach us. To not learn from them is a lost opportunity to grow. So as you can imagine, I did a lot of growing up. Fast forward 15 years, I moved from the coast to the big smoke. I landed at the best school with an amazing, supportive team that believed in me. That's another thing that I learned. Surround yourself with people that build you up, have your back, not tear you down. But I always knew something was missing. It was a longing to finish my degree and be paid my worth. This has always been at the back of my mind, waiting for an opportunity. And this came in the shape of learning online or extramural study. It was online where my connection to Massey was reignited by the flexibility it offered. It allowed me to work full-time and study. I know, crazy, right? But once I set my goal in motion, there was no stopping me. It took me 2.5 years to finish my bachelor's degree. And this is where I suppose I'd like to pause and thank you to all, and mention all the lecturers that have pushed me into taking my step into postgraduate study. I would not be standing here today without their mentorship and their feedback. So graduation, what does it mean for you? Where will it lead you? How has your education at Massey opened doors for you? For me, completing my bachelor's degree in education led me into the field of special education and following my passion to make a difference. Over the past 2 years, I've had opportunities I could have only dreamed of. Postgraduate study challenged me to strive for excellence, shifted my mindset, and I've gained many new skills. It also tested my organisation, time management, and survival instincts. It was brutal at times, but worth every tear, every piece of chocolate, and coffee that was consumed. For me, this qualification is much more than a line I can put onto my CV. The shift in mindset for me is critical to my success. By just saying yes, opens doors and opportunities. How many of you have already said yes and are on a new journey? As part of me saying yes, I've been lucky enough to be the spokesperson for the New Zealand Education Institute, or NZEI. I've led a march of 10,000 teachers up Queen Street to fight for time to teach, time to lead, and be paid what we're worth. I've had the privilege of being interviewed by John Campbell and appeared on Breakfast TV. All these opportunities came from me saying yes. Massey triggered this vocabulary and attitude. In my classroom, my children call it a can-do attitude. I know I'm not alone when I say that the connections I've made through my study at Massey will be lifelong. It's like finding your tribe, your profession, your passion. For me, my fellow peers became my tribe, sharing Google Docs, collaborating on videos, sharing resources or ideas. For all those video conferences in our PJs, giggles over coffee, I'm really and truly thankful. I hope you too can say you found your tribe. For those of you who are just beginning their career pathway today, remember to always keep learning, to be passionate, never just settle. For those of us in the audience today that are a bit like me, a slow learner, kia kaha, be strong. You are taking steps in the right direction to alter your path. Graduation is a huge accomplishment, but where to next? Ngā mihi nui, kia koutou.
Thank you very much, Carly. That was wonderful. And you are an inspiration too. We will now continue with the conferment of degrees and the award of university certificates and diplomas.
Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Counselling Studies, the graduate I'm about to name, Kelly Ann Gascoigne. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Education, the graduands I'm about to name, Melissa Jane Absalom. Kayleen Margaret Clark-Howard with distinction. Louise Jane Fitzgerald with distinction. Glenys Joan Knox. Helen Margaret Massey. Helen Elizabeth Saunders Nee Matthews. Claire Marie Woodhams with distinction. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Educational Psychology, the graduands I'm about to name, Jenny Brennan Nee Blaine. Zelda McGrath. Deborah Katrina Sutton. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Specialist Teaching, the graduands I'm about to name, Catherine Mary Begley Nee Malloy with distinction. Kieran Michael Brand with distinction. Elizabeth Ann Coleman with distinction. Tracy Jane Ellery with distinction. Catherine Ann Renard Nee Aldworth with distinction. Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for graduation in the degree of Master of Speech and Language Therapy, the graduands I'm about to name, Jessamy Lauren Bell with distinction. Esther Shi Wei Ho Ni Wong with distinction and Massey Scholar. Estelle Pretorius with distinction. Pro-Chancellor, the degrees are also conferred and the certificates and diplomas are also awarded to those who are in absentia. Thank you, Pro-Chancellor.
Would all our graduates please stand? He honore nui te whakatau atu I a koutou, hei raukura o te kuninga ki pūre huroa. He mana nui tō tētahi tohu wharewananga, engari pērā I ngā Honorary katoa, he haipapa hoki, ona he kāwenga mā koutou. Ā, ki roto ki a koutou mahi katoa, ko tāku kupu ki a koutou, me tū rangatira koutou, hei kanohi, mō te kuninga ki pūre huroa. It is my great honour to welcome you as alumni of Massey University. The award of a university degree carries many privileges, but like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. I charge you as graduates of Massey University to use what you have learned for your own betterment and for the benefit of your communities. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and discovery. I charge you to remember the lessons Massey University has taught you about the worth of others, particularly those who've not had the opportunities that you have had. I charge you to set goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. And in all that you do, I charge you to be deserving of the good name of Massey University. You may now be seated.
Truly a great celebration. At the conclusion of this ceremony, guests are requested to remain in their seats until the processions have left the auditorium. I declare this congregation to be adjourned. Please join with us in singing the national anthem, God Defend New Zealand, the words of which are printed on the screen. Please stand.